Normally scheduled at this time will not be seen tonight, so we can bring you the following special programs.
Welcome to the 4th Annual Crystal Light National Aerobic Championship Finals, featuring regional finalists from all across the United States competing for the title of America's Best Aerobic Athlete.
Welcome to School Improvement Part 1. We're going to go through 5 circuits. Let's go! Welcome to School Improvement Part 1. Today, our content objectives. The School Improvement Part 1 session will provide reflection and closure on the district learning initiatives of the 2013-2014 school year, and then specifically outline the new district learning initiatives for the 2014-2015 school year. Our language objectives. Participants will read through the 2013-2014 completed district learning initiatives and also read through the projected 2014-2015 district learning initiatives. Participants will be cognitively engaged through the writing process of producing Cornell notes. And lastly, participants will listen to information shared by Teaching and Learning and also listen to a variety of field experts in the education field. Today, during our time together, I would ask that you fill out Cornell notes. But why take Cornell notes? Cornell notes stimulate critical thinking skills. They help students remember what's said in class. And lastly, a good set of notes can help students work on assignments and prepare for tests outside of the classroom. Please take a moment and fill out the top portion of the Cornell Notes graphic organizer that we've provided for you. Under Topic and Objective, School Improvement Part 1, Reflect and Learn New District Learning Initiatives. Under the essential question, please fill in, what are strategies that can be utilized for effective school improvement? Continuing to look at the format, in the large right-hand column, take notes like you normally would. You can use any style of note-taking you wish. Outline format, narrative format, symbols, shorthand, the possibilities are endless. Just use the format that works best for you. On the left-hand side, you will see a column for questions. Your questions should reflect the following things: information you don't understand or want to discuss with your teacher or tutor, information you think would go on an essay test, and gaps in your notes. Lastly, on your own, in the space provided at the bottom of the page, complete a 3 or 4 sentence summary of what you wrote in your notes. Are you ready? Let's move to our first SMART goal. Welcome to circuit number 1. This is where we're going to take a little bit of time, get our heart rates up, and reflect on the 2013-2014 school year. Our first SMART goal was that at least 80% of the 2013-2014 targeted district curriculum guides will be completed by May 2014. The evidence of our effectiveness for this goal include completed target district curriculum guides in high school ELA, Integrated Math 2, Business, Chemistry, Physics, AP US History, Spanish 1, and multiple CTE courses. At the middle school level, Science and Computer Applications, and at the elementary level, we have completed curriculum guides in ELA, which integrates ELA Science and Social Studies, and then Computers. Our second goal for the 2013-2014 school year was 100% of Math Tier 2 and Tier 3 will be defined by buildings, 100% of PBS Tier 2 and Tier 3 will be defined by buildings, and we will utilize the help of our SPED liaison to accomplish that goal. For our accomplishment, 100% of the district Tier 2 and Tier 3 math interventions were defined in the district MTSS handbook. 49% of our PBS Tier 2 interventions and 51% of PBIS Tier 3 interventions have been defined by the buildings. So what are the evidence of effectiveness of this goal? We have increased state assessment math scores, including our subgroups, a list of the Tier 2 and Tier 3 math interventions, fewer office referrals have been reported across the district, and the list of Tier 2 and Tier 3 behavior interventions has been created. In looking at Goal 3, 100% of buildings will focus their school improvement efforts and instructional implementation of SIOP, Kagan, and instructional technology. We're pleased to share that 100% of our schools have focused their school improvement efforts and instructional implementation on SIOP, Kagan, and instructional technology. What is the evidence of this? We have the instructional framework that we've seen as we walk through classrooms, professional development calendars and agendas, and then also classroom observations by district administrators, building administrators, and fellow colleagues. In looking at SMART goal number 4, 100% of staff will receive support to develop a school-wide literacy plan. Our accomplishment, 100% of staff receive that support to develop that school-wide literacy plan. What are the evidence of effectiveness of this goal? We have PD calendars and agendas, monthly facilitator meetings, agendas and notes included, interdisciplinary team meetings and those agendas and notes, and lastly, principal collaboration during our monthly T&L meetings. Lastly, goal number 5 was 100% of the elementary grade card will align with the Kansas College and Career Readiness Standards for English Language Arts, Math, Science, and Social Studies. We've spent some time visiting with our elementary teachers and decided it was best that this goal was actually postponed. That was in reaction to a couple of things. First, as we wrote those curriculum guides referenced earlier, we knew that teachers needed more time to really unpack the standards and understand what instruction needed to look like in the classroom before we could put that onto a grade card. Secondly, in December, the state of Kansas surprised us by moving away from the Smarter Balance Consortium for state assessments. Due to that, we felt like we needed a little bit more time to take the lead and take the direction of the state of Kansas before we implemented our own grade card. Therefore, the elementary grade card will be a focus for the 2014-2015 school year.
Hey guys, welcome back. Let's jump into Circuit 2. Time to get the blood flowing.
It's the certainty of knowing no one else can do and the pace goes safe. There's so much.
Welcome to Circuit number 2, District Curriculum Guides. Our goal for the 2014-2015 is to complete at least 80% of those curriculum guides that we have targeted as a priority. Those completed goals include elementary PE, elementary art, elementary library, and elementary music. At the middle school level, we want to target PE, world languages, industrial technology, engineering applications, and at the high school level, we want to target health, biology, integrated math 3, applications of math, and then also focus on our CTE pathways of pre-construction and design. As always, when the Teaching and Learning Department works on these district curriculum guides, we like to bring in teachers who are the content experts in the curriculum. So during the school year, we will be bringing in committees of teachers to help write these curriculum guides. Once completed, we're excited to share that all curriculum guides will be housed in Blackboard.
Hey guys, keep up the good work. The circuit training's looking awesome. Hey, you guys, hang in here. It's time for us to move to our next circuit. Circuit number 3. We're going to talk about blended learning. Take a cue from these guys. Let's get focused.
Welcome to Circuit number 3. Our second SMART goal is blended learning. Currently, our goal is 100% of the teachers will have a working knowledge of how all of the targeted district instructional strategies are encompassed in the blended learning model. Now, some of you this morning have already attended your blended learning circuit, and some of you have yet to attend that. But I think when you walk away from that, you really want to understand the blended learning approach is moving from the brick and mortar building or a traditional classroom setting all the way to the virtual setting where learning can be completely online. But there's a lot of things that have to be considered in that continuum. Mainly, we have to talk and think about and be purposeful in planning for the gradual release of responsibility from the teacher being the sage on the stage and responsible for learning to allowing the students to really being responsible for their own learning. So in that, there have to be structures in place so that we can help students be successful in the classroom. This is where we want to tie in the district initiatives that we've been working on in the last 2 years and tie all of that together into blended learning. Kagan, SIOP, instructional technology, they're amazing instructional strategies to have in the classroom, but really they will be integral in planning for that blended learning classroom. When you talked about blended learning earlier, you're going to hear about the flex model or the rotation model. In doing that, again, the teacher is planning where he or she is going to let go and let the students start to be in charge of their own learning. When I think of that release of responsibility, what teachers are going to have to plan for is providing that structure for the students. That can be those Kagan structures that we've spent a lot of time visiting about. What we also need to realize about Kagan is taking a step back and realizing that there are those components that are actually tied to the Common Core or the Kansas College and Career Readiness Standards, as we call Common Core in Kansas. In that Kagan model, students have to speak and listen to each other all the time. They have to work collaboratively and really understand how to be successful in a group. And lastly, when we talk about structure in the classroom in the blended learning environment, we need to take some time and talk about co-teaching. This will be a new initiative that we're rolling out this year, but we still see it being a very important part of the management of that blended learning environment. When we think about structure for students, we're going to have to be very purposeful in the structure and the placement of the adults in the classroom. Again, the adults aren't going to be managing learning, but students are. But we may need to scaffold and have more supports in place for students at their individual circuits based on their needs. That could include our special education students, ELL students, students that are just academically at risk, and also our gifted students. So understanding the different components of co-teaching will be vital for the success of the blended learning environment. We've talked about the structure of the blended learning classroom and the blended learning environment, but the other thing we need to take some time and talk about is effective lesson planning in preparation for those lessons in the blended learning environment. Now, we have also talked for 2 years about SIOP, and I know sometimes it can even be a long-running joke about you've heard so much about SIOP. But SIOP is so important not only to the blended learning classroom, but also we have got to tie SIOP back to the expectations of the Common Core and the Kansas College and Career Readiness Standards.
As everybody knows, Common Core state standards are really a front runner in the priorities at schools. So we have taken all of the work we've done with Common Core state standards and paired it with the SIOP strategies. Most of what you'll see in a classroom is you'll see the content objectives are pulled right out of Common Core state standards. They apply readily. There's no conflict between the two. SIOP allows us to effectively introduce the content rather than simply introduce content without the background that we build with SIOP.
It's important that we stop and explicitly tie that there are integrated technology standards that are also tied back to the Kansas College and Career Readiness Standards or in the broader picture Common Core. So it's not just something that we want to do in isolation. We don't want technology to be the bells and whistles and the extra things that go on in the classroom, but rather they are part of the content. They are part of the assessment, the expectations, and they're a means for us to take that content and make it relevant to students as they're learning. So in summary, for the 2014-2015 school year, building administrators will provide ongoing professional development regarding blending learning and the components that we've talked about: SIOP, Kagan, co-teaching, PBIS, and integrated technology. In addition to that, we will ask building administrators and buildings, including teachers, to be a part of creating a walkthrough form and a walkthrough schedule in which walkthrough data is going to be collected to see where schools are in the integration and the implementation of those instructional strategies and tying all of those things together into the blended learning classroom. You ready to go work out? Let's go.
Good.
Six,
Now,
seven,
tap, touch,
8.
speed back,
1,
circle.
2,
Come on, get that speed back going.
4,
Circle,
5.
working those triceps.
Hey guys, glad you're back. We're getting ready to move to circuit number 4. We're going to talk about literacy. Stay tuned. I got to get back to my circuit.
Nice jab out. Here you go. Let that jab go. Lead leg is working. Count it. I hear you guys back here working. That's it. Jab, jab, jab. One more set, guys. Jab, jab. That's it. Jab, jab.
Welcome to circuit number 4, literacy. For this year, we have 2 goals that we have tied into our literacy movement. The first is 100% of staff will implement their school-wide writing model. We're excited and proud of the work that schools have done this year in creating a school-wide writing model, in that district administrators, literacy facilitators, and classroom teachers have all worked together to create a school-wide writing model in which every teacher in every content area will be giving writing assignments to students. The second goal within literacy is 100% of staff will receive professional development and utilize close reading strategies in their content area. We need to take some time and explicitly talk about close reading strategies as it ties into not only literacy, but into the college and career readiness standards. Close reading strategies encourage students to think critically while reading high-quality text. Sometimes challenging texts do not give up their meanings easily, so it is essential that readers reread and extensively analyze the text in order to understand what it means. It should be initially modeled and then guided by a teacher, but over the time, the teacher releases the responsibility of close reading to the students. Close reading goes deeper than the text. It reveals what the author is trying to say so that the students can evaluate or critique what is written. What we're excited about with close reading strategies is the point that there's going to be a true interaction and transaction from the author of the text to the student as the consumer of the text. In summary, with literacy, we have several goals that need to be addressed this year. Building administrators will facilitate monthly meetings with their building literacy teams and also ensure their school-wide cross-curricular writing plan is implemented. Secondly, in regards to our close reading strategies, there will be a cross-curricular writing strategies and close reading focus, and building administrators will provide close reading professional development and ensure that these strategies are implemented across all content areas.
All right, we got a lot of circuits going on here. It's time for us to power up and move to circuit number 5. You're almost done. Stay strong. Look at these guys. I know you can do it.
All right, guys, it's time for our cool down. Let's go to circuit number 5, monitoring student growth. For the 2014-2015 school year, 100% of schools will monitor student growth in the areas of reading, math, and behavior on a scheduled basis. When we talk about monitoring student growth, I think all teachers are really great at the art of teaching. That is when they intuitively know, feel, and decide what students need. But we also need to take a minute and talk about the science of teaching, and that is where we are using data to drive our decision making to ensure that we're meeting the needs of all of our students. When we're creating things that monitor student growth, such as watch lists that can be used in PLC discussions, they can be used in SIT team meetings, they can be used in faculty meetings, a variety of ways, department meetings, whatever the case, when we are looking at data to ensure that students are meeting our benchmarks, to ensure that teachers are making good decisions for lesson planning. All of those things go into the science of teaching. So in summary, buildings will create a watch list that addresses reading, math, and behavior and review on a monthly basis. Buildings will also schedule quarterly instructional decision-making meetings, or IDM as we like to call them, so that we can ensure that we are meeting the needs of every student in the classroom. All right, guys, this concludes our School Improvement Part 1. This afternoon, you'll move into School Improvement Part 2 with your leadership teams, in which you'll create the goals that we've talked about this morning, and you'll move into your specific building goals.
where the students are watching lessons on the computer before they ever come see me.